I'm John Hill, Director of Media Services Division for the Detroit City Council. And today on Council View, we have the privilege and the honor of being here with Pastor and the Commission Chair of the Detroit Police Department, Reverend Warfield. How you doing, Reverend?
I'm wonderful, John. Thanks for having me. It's good to be here.
Yeah, I want to say, first of all, it's good to have, and I have to say this, I know they say don't mix church and state and all that, but it's good to have a reverend, I think, that has a heart to serve and a compassion and an understanding of God.
Absolutely.
To serve in that seat.
Thank you. First of all, thank you again. And if you look at the biblical narrative always have those who are called by God working in some capacity with government on behalf of God's people.
Absolutely.
So it's always been there.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, George Washington, I was listening to a statement that he made, and he said that a nation cannot survive without God, without the Bible. It just can't be done.
Absolutely
It would
not.
destroy itself each and every time.
Each and every time.
Yeah, I think sometimes that's what happens. People, and I know that's what happens. People forget about their God, forget
Right.
about the Bible, and
Absolutely.
yeah, and then the rest is history, if you will. Truly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But now I've been knowing you, Jerome, for a while now, and as a matter of fact, one of your best friends is my best friend, so I know the character of a man that you are, and I've been over at your church. As a matter of fact, when we first started about the trying to videotape and things
Absolutely.
like that, your services. So I know a little bit about your history, but for those that don't know of your history, your humble beginnings, if you will. Where were you born and raised? Where'd you go to school? That type of thing.
Sure. Born and raised right here in the city of Detroit. 1964. I'm not afraid to even give that out.
Yeah, I'm 65, brother. I'm right there. January,
That's
so I'm
right.
at the beginning.
So born and raised right here. Grew up on the east side, which is called Black Bottom. To the age of 5, we stayed right on Sherman Street, which is just off of the Amwood Cemetery.
Yeah,
right now there are
absolutely.
condos there now. Then moved to the west side over on North Campbell, just down the street from the Crunk Gym.
Okay.
So we stayed between Linwood and Lawton.
Yeah.
When we were there, I attended Hanneman Elementary School. Then we ended up moving across town, still on the west side though, to Calvert Street between Linwood and Lawton.
Know exactly where you're talking
and stayed
about,
there
yeah.
until I graduated from high school. So I attended Hanneman Elementary, went back over to where that district was. So I went to Clippert right when busing started.
Yeah. Oh,
we
really?
We
You
got
were
the
involved
year,
in that?
the
Yeah,
year,
yeah.
the year busing started. So went to Clippert Middle School, and then went over to Munger Junior High School after that, and then graduated from Chadsey High School in 1982.
Wow.
From there, went to Michigan State University. Had a great time there, probably too great of a time.
Yeah.
Some people would say, right?
Yeah, where you met the one and only Jerry Kirkland.
Right. One of my best friends still to this day,
Yeah,
Jerry
absolutely.
Kirkland, just a great guy. Was with him last night, as a matter of fact,
Yeah.
and his family. But graduated from Michigan State in 1989. Came out of there working in the pharmaceutical industry, served and sold pharmaceuticals for 17 years before going into the ministry, which was very interesting.
Well, it's funny that I knew that Jerry was in the pharmaceuticals. I didn't know that you two were together in doing that. So that's one of the reasons why you became so close.
Exactly. We were close even before we graduated. We're frat brothers, so
Right.
we were close even before that. But Jerry actually helped me in the industry because he has a great business mind and a great mindset for business. So he even tutored and mentored me from a business standpoint as I got ready to go into the sales industry.
Yeah.
And which was a great field.
Yeah, and I'm sure that those, and I say that because I'm sure those things that you learned are helping you to make decisions right now, and that you are, constantly learning about the business aspect of things.
Yeah, a number of transferable skills in sales. I tell kids now when I go back and speak at schools, look at what you're learning now and see how it can transfer over into other ideas that you might want to implement or things you want to get involved in. But when I look at my life as a career, as a salesperson, I never thought I was going to be in sales. My major was political science pre-law. So I was either going to law school or I was going to work for a politician or be a politician.
Right.
One of the two. And at the end of my college career, I was broke. So the one thing I needed more than anything else was money. So pharmaceuticals was very, very good to me. It was very successful in that. And so, but in going over into the ministry, certainly the sales skills transferred over even into the ministry. Being able to hear what people are telling you in counseling sessions, being able to read body language to see if people are grasping what you're saying. So a number of transferable skills there.
And it's funny, I was going to a lady conferences for years named Danny Johnson, and people don't know, you know, she talks about everybody sells, whether you're selling somebody a car, whether you're selling your kid on how good vegetables are, or to make up their bed, you know, in some aspect. But she also talks about how the greatest thing that you can do when you sell is to listen.
That's it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that one skill more than anything else have helped me during my career. And even as chair of the Board of Police Commissioners, one of the things we have at our meetings, we have a number of citizens that come to our meeting who just want to be heard.
Right.
And so listening very particular to what their concerns are is extremely important, because no one wants to show up at your meeting and you act as if you're listening and you're not. And so listening is key.
Yeah, and I know the council members get a great dose of that, you know, because the citizens, it's so important that they, and you have the same things right now. I don't think the police commission meetings are being taped, but, you know, I wish they were. But it's so important to listen to somebody.
Absolutely.
You know, sometimes you might not be able to move the way that they want you to move on certain things because you have certain constraints that won't allow you, but at least they're heard. If you don't listen, if you shut down that wall, then you have chaos.
Oh, absolutely. I would say that in the city of Detroit, we have very passionate citizens. We have citizens who care about their city, who care about the police department, who care about how things can be done better. And so to us, it's a compliment when, first of all, people come to the meeting, and then there are a number of suggestions that citizens have made to the board that we've actually taken into consideration and moved on. So you can find yourselves bettering the position of the department and the board just by listening to citizens.
Yeah. Now, about the, how long have you served? First, I was going to ask Reverend Warfield, I was going to ask about how did you get called to God and how did you know it was your calling? And if you can let me know and the citizens know just a little bit about that, then I want to go into the police commission and what your duties and roles and responsibilities are.
Absolutely, would love to share that. It was interesting. I was driving. I had a territory in Lansing, Michigan, but I lived in Detroit. And so I was driving from Detroit to Lansing one day on 96. And I was thinking about my life. I was thinking about, okay, Lord, what am I doing? What am I not doing? Am I spinning my wheels? And I began to talk to myself in the car. And I said, one other person was in the car with me, was my sister. And so as I was talking to myself, I wasn't talking to her, I was talking quietly. I said, Lord, what would you have me to do for you? What do you want me to do? And I heard these words very clearly in my spirit. He said, preach my word.
Wow.
I said, okay, Lord, if that's you, say it again. And he said, preach my word.
You heard it.
I heard it. And I said, okay, if that was you again, I need you to confirm it in several different ways. And so over the next maybe 4 months, several different ways God will confirm it, either through dreams that other people would have, that I was in a pulpit preaching, either through people calling me and say, I know you're a pastor, aren't you? But it was several different ways. And then finally, it was confirmed through scripture, through the Ezekiel text, which basically says that if you do not tell men of the error of their ways, then their blood will be on your hand. And that's when the final confirmation came to me, and I accepted at that time.
That's powerful.
And that's when I got my call to preach. And then later on after that, some years after that, I got my call to pastor while I was in seminary school. Attended Ashland Seminary, received a master's of pastoral counseling. And it was during that period of time, and it's hard to describe. The best way I can describe it is to say, I felt like I was bloated or pregnant with something. And I knew something was in me that had to come out. I didn't know what it was. And I, again, praying to God. And God says, you're a pastor, my people. And I said, okay. And so I didn't tell anybody, kept it to myself. After graduating from seminary school, a friend called one day and said, we have a vacancy. Our pastor is about to resign. Can you submit your paperwork? That was the only church I've submitted my paperwork to.
Wow. And
2 years later, they voted me in as the pastor, which has been a blessing. It really has. As you know, in the pastor, there's ups and downs.
Absolutely.
But when you are called to your purpose in life and why you were created. You know, the downs are just as acceptable as the ups, because you know through it all, God is taking you through all of it for a purpose.
You know, and it's funny, my brother is a reverend also, and he got called to the ministry, and you know, he's a blessing to have in the family. But we were talking about listening and listening to people, and the person that we need to have our ear most listening to is God.
Absolutely.
And so you were able to hear him then.
Absolutely.
You know.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, the church that I pastor, we're going through a fast right now, 40-day fast. And part of our fast is really taking time out to meditate and to listen to God. Not necessarily to pray to him. We'll pray to him as well. But there's a period within the fast that you just sit and listen for God to talk to you. Because a lot of times we'll pray to God and ask for things, but we won't sit long enough to listen to hear what God wants to say to us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I'm going to take a break right here, and we'll come back into talking about the police commission and some of their duties. But let's give the viewing audience a chance just to listen, if you will. Let's take a break. And what I'm going to ask you to do is to, we're here with Pastor Reverend Jerome Warfield, also the police commission chair, and we'll be getting more into what's going on with the police department, how you can reach out to the police department and let them know your concerns, or the police commission, I guess I should say, and let them know your concerns. Let them know the good things that are happening in your neighborhood. And I just want to stop right here. I mean, I had a situation recently where my mother-in-law, they were breaking into her house, and the police were there in about, put it this way, the police were there before they broke into her house and caught the people there. Yeah, and it happened over in a house that I have, where somebody was going in the back door, and it took me maybe nine minutes to get there. And there was already 2 police cars out there, and that was recently. So the police department, they are doing some good things, you know.
Absolutely.
Contrary to what you hear, and that's what we hear about on this channel, is highlighting the great things that are going on, as well as talking about the issues.
Absolutely.
So we'll be right back after these messages. Please call, like I always say, call your friends and family. Let them know to tune in, and if you have any questions, we'll be giving out a number. Matter of fact, let me stop right here, because I'm feeling the need to say that. Can you look right there, Pastor Warfield, and let them know, or I should say Commissioner Warfield in this aspect, and let them know how they can get in touch with you if they have any concerns? Give a number.
Absolutely, and this is to all of the citizens of the city of Detroit. If you have any concerns, or if you want to give us comments or suggestions as it relates to your interactions with the Detroit Police Department, you can call 313-596-1830. Again, 313-596-1830. And our meetings are held every Thursday at 1300 Bobium, room 328A, again 328A on the 3rd floor downtown. Now, on the 2nd Thursday of every month, we're somewhere in the community. So you can go on our website and get that information when we are on the 2nd Thursday of every month.
All right, that's cool, and we'll give you a chance to say that at the end of our next segment also, and we'll show it on the screen. So please stay tuned. Like I say, call everybody you know. I know that the public safety is the most important issue right now, one of the most important issues. Don't let me say, because we all have our important issues, but in our community, without good public safety, it's hard to have a great city. So we'll be right back after these messages. Stay tuned.
You know we've got to find a way to bring
The first day stepping on the court, I couldn't keep up. That motivated me to step up my game. When I reach a goal, I set a new one the next day. The best feeling is getting to a place you've been fighting for. Tennis taught me to never give up in anything. School, sports, life. Your opponent has to earn their victory. Nothing in life is guaranteed, so education is important. Going to college is one of my biggest goals. I can't wait. Mastering the court takes persistence. So does getting into college. I've got what it takes. So do you.
So we're back with Reverend and Chairman Pastor Jerome Warfield. So you got a lot of titles.
Yeah.
And friend and pal of mine.
Absolutely.
So, Jerome, to talk about the Police Commission, what are some of the roles and responsibilities of the Police Commission for our viewers, that need to know? And actually, I don't really know all the rules and roles.
Absolutely. Let me start just for a moment going back in the history. The Police Commission was started back in 1974 under the late, great Mayor Coleman A. Young.
Okay.
And certainly it was started back then because of a number of issues.
Stress
that was
being
going
one,
on
I'm sure.
in the department. Stress was absolutely one of those issues. You also had a city that was predominantly becoming more majority African American in its population, but it was not being reflected within the department.
Absolutely.
And even those members who were African American in the department were not being treated fairly. So the Detroit Police Commission was set up as an oversight board, almost as the legislative branch to the Detroit Police Department, to oversee its policies, to oversee the budgeting process, as well as the promotions within the department. And so from that early beginning up until now, the board has been the supervisory oversight liaison between the department and the community. So we are almost like the board that's in the middle of making sure we hear the concerns of the people by understanding what the needs of the department are also, and being able to marry those two concerns together.
Yeah. And sometimes I had to say this: a bridge over troubled waters. Huh?
Yes, great, absolutely.
Now, how are police commissioners? Are they elected? Are they appointed? How are they chosen?
Well, great question, because when the charter was revised last November, it changed the way that we're going to, moving in the future, select our police commissioners. Right now, we're still under the old system where the commissioners are appointed by the mayor. 5 commissioners are appointed by the mayor, but they're confirmed by the city council.
Okay.
So, and if the council does not act within 30 days of receiving the mayor's request, then they automatically take their seat. Okay. But city council can reject, submissions submitted by the mayor as relates to people sitting on the Detroit Police Commission.
Right, I got you.
In addition to that, now moving forward, it's going to change somewhat. You're going to have 7 elected members, and they will be elected by council districts. And then you'll also, in addition to that, have 4 members that will be appointed by the mayor, still to be confirmed by the Detroit City Council. So we're going to move from a 5-member board to an 11-member board, which is going to be significant, to say the least.
All right. That has some clarity to it. Now, is there any way, and I have to ask, as far as being chosen, is there anything how long are the terms? I'm sorry.
Well, for the elected person, the terms are 4 years.
Okay.
For those who are appointed, their terms are 5 years, and you only can serve 1 term at a time. You have to sit for 3 years if you want to be reappointed by the mayor to serve again. Those who are being elected can run every 4 years.
Okay, and is there any way, if a elected police commissioner isn't doing his job, is there any way that he can be removed, or?
The way that they are removed is through the electoral process.
Just period. And how about the ones that sit on the board if the council isn't happy with the job that they're doing?
That's a great question. The city charter says that the mayor of the city can remove police commissioners that he appoint for cause, and it lists very specifically
specific causes. That's good.
In the charter, those causes. And the reason, and that was a recent change as well within the last 3 years, 4 years I should say, and the reason that happened is because we wanted to, the city wanted to make sure that people weren't taken and snatched off of Detroit City Charter just because they disagreed
Absolutely,
with the mayor.
That's so important.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've been here for now I think 21 years, and I've seen a lot of disagreements between people who were appointed and administrations, and it's important that if they're standing for something and they're doing their job, that they stay in those positions.
Absolutely.
Now, what is a day like for Commissioner or Chairman Warfield on a regular basis as far as the police commission is concerned?
Here's what I tell my wife, and I thank God I'm
This
married
is
to
a
my
good
wife
one.
because she loves me. I know she loves me because of my schedule. The chair of the Board of Police Commissioner lives an interrupted life. which means at any given moment something could happen, which calls you to come away from what you're doing to pay attention to a very critical matter happening on the police department. Most people think we just meet on Thursdays,
Right.
and that's it. But there's so much more to the job. We review every single case and every single complaint against the police department, members of the police department. Over the year, we'll get about 1,700 complaints, and so the actual members of the commission do not do the investigations. We have an investigative staff that works very specifically and very closely with us, and so they'll do the actual investigations, but we read every case that they submit their findings, and then we'll make our final determination and do that. And so I get on a weekly basis anywhere between 30 cases that I have to go through and read and sign off on. In addition to that, we deal a lot with the department. Right now we're in the process of looking at reorganization within the department. We look at budgets. We're also in the process of looking at budgets because we approve the budget of the department before it comes to the city council
right.
table. So our budget binder is about that thick.
Wow.
And so we go through every page of that budget to make sure that the money of the citizens are being spent in a very proper fashion.
That's very important.
Yeah, we also deal with promotions. So those who are wanting to get promoted from the rank of sergeant and above, we have to approve all of those promotions. So we look at the officer's background and look at their history within the department to make sure that things are lined up properly there. In addition to that, we deal with, our meetings, our weekly meetings on Thursdays and the various situations that come up there. You'll see us maybe at a barricaded gunman situation. You'll see us at Hart Plaza if there's a big crowd there. Why? Because we want to make sure that the policies that we have initiated are actually being carried out and that they're working for best. We ride along with the police officers on some days. That's a very interesting and for me very exciting because I've always wanted to be a police officer. So because I didn't go to the academy, I'm able to fulfill that little gap right there, and so I can play police for for a couple hours, right? but so there's a lot that goes on to being a police commissioner in the city of Detroit.
I was going to say maybe one day we can do a ride along with you and just kind of see what the police are actually out there doing and going through on a regular basis, because to see those shoes but to be in those shoes are two different things.
Completely different. I'll say this: the city of Detroit, without question, has the best police department in the entire United States of America. I guarantee you that. They're going through some challenges right now, but here's what people have to understand. Even with the challenges that they're going through, our officers are showing up every day. They're showing up on time to do their jobs. They're showing up more so now than they did when we had, a few years ago.
Right.
And so they are very dedicated. We are working very hard, the board, to make sure that we get them all of the resources that they need and to supplement their efforts at any and all costs.
Yeah, I know we have great men and women that serve as the police officers in the city of Detroit. And it has been that way, and you 99.9% are great officers.
Absolutely. I always say, I got a couple of knuckleheads that we're still working on.
Always
we're still laying hands on them and praying, right? But for the most part, the overwhelming majority of our officers do an outstanding job day in and day out, and so I salute them every time I get an opportunity to.
All right. Now, as far as that we know what a day is like in the life of a police chairman, if you will. Do the commissioners also have to go through all those? I mean, is it pretty much the same? Because it sounds like you're talking about 3 full-time jobs and one with just that one.
You really are. You're talking about a lot of things that you have to do. The times that we'll come by here and some of your viewers they see us sitting at the city council table.
Seems like every time I turn around, I see you more now than I used to see you back in the day. Yeah,
absolutely. We're dealing with towing issues, and other members of the board are engaged with the towing issues. The unique thing about our board is that the voice of the board comes to the chair. And so, whoever the chair is at that particular time becomes the spokesperson for the board. But all of the members are equally engaged in doing the work.
Yeah, and when a big issue happens, and I think you just addressed that, but when like at 3 o'clock in the morning, you see the police chief out there, but you also sometimes have to get up, and if it's a Yeah, and you'll be right out there.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'll never forget the Sunday that we had the shooting over in Northwest District. And I was
Right.
just laying down. I just prepared dinner, just fixed dinner for my family. I went upstairs to lay down just for a minute. As soon as I hit the bed, I got the call. And I was at the station probably within 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Because it was just that important. And so, you know, you're there and you're available and you do it because of your love for the city, because of your love for the job. I love being a Detroit Police Commissioner. I really do. I accept the responsibility. Sometimes it gets overwhelming, but at the same time, you know the benefit that it has, not just for the officers, but also for the citizens of the city as well.
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to take a break, and then when we come back, I just want you to reach out to the citizens and let them know how they can get in touch with you. I'm going to ask you a little bit more about the Police Commission, but just a slight amount of things. And then I also want you to tell us why you are serving in this capacity. You just said that you love being a commissioner, but I know you love the city of Detroit. So I know that's somewhere in there. So we'll be right back. Stay tuned after these messages with more from Chairman Warfield about the Police Commission, about the city of Detroit, and about how we can get through this together.
There's far too many of you dying. You know we've got to find
true definition of hero. You've been a hero. Took a heroic effort.
Every day we bring to our fans the world of sports. We speak of heroes and heroism, but there are days when sports matter little and heroes matter more. These heroes don't hit walk-off homers or buzzer-beating threes. They simply made a plan for what to do when disaster strikes. You never know when you might need to be the hero, because you never know if today is the day before a natural disaster. Prepare, plan, be a hero. Visit ready.gov.
Thanks for staying with us. You've been watching them. I'm sure you've been enlightened as I have with all of the roles and responsibilities of the police commissioners and of the chairman of the police commission, Jerome Warfield. Jerome, thanks a lot for coming out here. You know, it's funny when you know somebody and grow up with somebody, and you see them in a different light because you're talking about the wife, the kids, or back in the day it was hanging out and all that stuff, and then you see them at their job, and I see you before city council all the time, and you always if you don't, you always have the answers, and if you don't have the exact answers, you go back and next time you come to the table. I see you on TV all the time. When I look at you at some of these situations and things like that, I know you also serve, as a reverend. I am really shaking my head because I know what it's like to not to do your job, but to be a public servant and just have to be at the call, of the citizens, and just have to work tirelessly, if you will, but get the job done. Yeah,
I want to just say something just to that for a minute. I speak to young people a lot, and here's what I tell them: find what you love to do. Don't worry about the pay. Don't worry about the compensation.
There you go.
But find what you love to do. And if you find that, then your career will come to you. Find out why you were created. I love the city of Detroit. I love serving people. That's just the essence of who I am. I'm a servant first, more than anything else. And so when I was asked by Mayor Bing to serve on the Detroit Police Commission, for me it was a natural fit because of my interest. But I love this city. Born and raised here, very proud of the people here. My family is here, and we serve in every sector of this city. And so, and there's a lot in this city still to do. The city will be better. The city, goes through cycles, as you know.
Yes,
we
sir.
go through our various cycles, but we are always going to get better. And I think that's what the citizens and the viewers know in this city, that we're tough, we're determined, and we're going to get better. Absolutely.
Yeah, we are Detroiters.
Yeah, we're Detroiters.
That's for sure. And we
built Detroit tough.
Yeah.
Right?
Born and raised. So if you can you look at this camera right here and tell people once again how they can get in touch with you? We'll put the website under you, but and when they can reach out to you, how they can reach out to you.
Sure. For those citizens who are watching, and first of all, we thank you again for watching this program, and hopefully you'll get a chance to meet John one day. John is a super nice guy. He really is, and he does just an outstanding job here on this format.
Thank you for that, bro.
You're welcome.
Can you tell the citizens, and just take a moment to tell the citizens how they can get in touch with you, and why they should get in touch with you, the kind of reasons.
Sure.
So-
Sure, absolutely. And again, thank you, citizens of the city of Detroit, for watching. And certainly we thank John for just his outstanding hosting here and just for the job that he does in front of the camera, but also behind the scenes. If you wish to get in contact with members of the Detroit Police Commission, you can call our office at area code 313-596-1830. Again, 313-596-1830. So you might say, why should I call the Detroit Police Commission? For several things. First of all, if you want to know what's going on with the department, you should give us a call. If you hear plans of new organizational things that are going on, if you need information about your community, about the CB Patrol, you should call our office and we can direct you to the right place. If you have crime issues that are going on in your block or in your neighborhood, give us a call or come down to our meetings. We meet every Thursday at 3 o'clock in 1300 Bobian, room 328A. And on the second Thursday of every month, we meet out in the community. So we actually come to you, and we are more than welcome to see you. We welcome you in our meetings. We want to hear from you. So please feel free to give us a call. We're looking forward to hearing from you.
Hey, Jerome, thanks a lot, brother.
Thank you, John. Good to see you again.
And maybe we should do this, you know, on like every 2 months or something, sit down and just talk so you can let the citizens know what's going on with the police commission, any new initiatives that you have and things like that.
Absolutely, we'd love to do it.
Okay, that'll work.
Thank
And thank you for joining us with another Council View. You know, it's so important right now that we all come together. And a matter of fact, if I can go back to you, Jerome, we're talking about how the only way we can do this thing is together.
It's together, that's it. You know, no one of us is smarter than all of us. So when we bring all of our collective resources together, we're able to solve any problem.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
So you heard it from Chairman Warfield. Together we can solve this problem. Reach out to him, reach out to the police commission, let them know some of the things that you are concerned about in your neighborhood. And also the citizen patrols, the radio patrols, I'm sure are still going on. Though the neighborhood patrols, we need to know our neighbors once again. We need to reach out and actually know who lives to the right, who lives to the left, and who lives 5 houses down. The only way we're going to get out of this is together, as Commissioner Warfield and Reverend Warfield was saying. So I asked everybody to have peace, have faith, unite, and stay tuned for the next Council View, where we will give you information and try to enlighten you about the great things that are going on in Detroit. And we all together, we can truly make a difference. Thanks again, Jerome.
Thank you.
Brother, 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 there's far too many of you dying. You know we've